Hey everybody, Max back here with Ridgeline Fence Deck. Today I'm excited to show you a build overview of our shadow box design fence. Let's take a look. First thing we're going to go over is the process prior to installation, starting off with subcontracting. We don't subcontract any of our work out here in Ridgeline. Everybody you see on our job site is going to be our in-house employees. They're going to have our company t-shirts on, and they're going to be underneath our workers' comp and general liability policy. The second point to touch on is that Ridgeline will be pulling the permit for your fence project, and this is really important. Also with that, we will be calling 811 to go ahead and have the utilities marked out prior to installation to mark out your electric, water, gas, and internet line. And the last point we want to touch on is how quick this fence is going to be going up. Most of our fences go up in a 1 to 2 day time frame, with this shadow box fence you see behind me going up in 1 day with the removal of an old existing fence. So the first point we want to touch on when it comes to the installation is going to be the idea that we're going to be using steel posts instead of wood posts for all our wood fences. Why is this important? Well, first and probably most importantly is you're never going to have a steel post rotting off. Wood posts last somewhere between 5, 10, maybe 15 years. It's a very unknown factor. Galvanized steel posts, like the one we have hidden behind here, is going to go ahead and last for 50 plus years. And what we do with all our wood fences is cover them with a picket, no matter the design. You can see with the shadow box fence here, you can see just a sliver of it from a side angle. The other nice part about the steel posts is you're not going to have any big mound of concrete exposed above grade that's only going to crack down the road, right? And then also you're not going to have any posts warping, leaning, heaving, cracking, anything that a wood post will do. Okay, so the next point we want to touch on when it comes to the installation is the idea that we're not going to be using any concrete, and instead we're going to be driving these fence posts 4 to 5 feet. Why is that a good idea, you may wonder? Well, in Minnesota here we have a really deep frost line of 4 feet, meaning anything above that frost line is subject to frost heaving. And what that is during spring when the ground goes ahead and thaws out and the water gets below those posts and pushes up, causing that post to heave. The other big advantage to going ahead and doing a no-dig installation is the fact that we're not going to be messing up your yard. As you can see here, our customer has really nice green grass, and us going ahead and getting some kind of heavy equipment piece or mixing concrete along the fence line is going to go ahead and rip up the yard quite a bit. We're going ahead and taking a small gas driver and driving those posts in the ground. Okay, now let's take a look at the fasteners we're using to install your wood fence. Here at Ridgeline, we're going to be using a 2-inch coated deck screw to go ahead and install all our pickets, 3-inch screws on the gates, and also 2-inch screws again to go ahead and install our 2x4 runners to our steel posts. Now, why do we use screws versus nails? Well, they might cost a little bit more. We're always focused on the longevity of your fence, and that's again why we use the steel posts as well. Screws are going to hold together much better long-term versus nails because of the threads they have. And let's say a tree branch ever falls in your new fence or a car backs into it. It's super easy to back out those screws, replace the broken boards, and get your fence back in working order. The last and final point we want to touch on today is the idea that we're going to be using only clear pickets to install your new cedar wood fence. A clear picket is a board like this that isn't going to have any knots in it. The reason that we use the clear pickets is twofold. First and foremost is the aesthetics of it. A clear picket is visually going to look a lot more appealing to the eye, it's more clean, and also when it comes to the strength of the board, boards that don't have knots in them are going to be much stronger because a knot is a failure point in a cedar board. Taking a look at the way we build our gates here, you can see that we use self-closing hinges for all our fences. Doesn't matter if it's wood, vinyl, or ornamental. That way if the gate's ever left open behind yourself, it can self-close. Our latches are lockable from both sides, right here with a padlock or a carabiner. And then something this customer opted to do is go ahead and install a double gate. That way if they need, they have just a single door to act as about a 4-foot opening, or they can go ahead and lift up this drop rod and get a full 8-foot opening. All right, thank you for taking the time today to go over what makes our shadow box fences different from most. To summarize, prior to installation, we're going to be the ones pulling the permit, calling 811 to go ahead and get the utilities marked out. We also are not going to be subcontracting the job, and this entire fence can be done in as little as 1 day. Moving on to the actual installation, we're going to be going ahead and using a galvanized steel post so your posts won't be rotting, driving them into the ground 4 or 5 feet, using clear pickets, and also screws to install all the boards. Thank you for watching, and feel free to reach out at 612-868-4879 or check out any of our other YouTube videos here on our channel. Thank you.